Hey everybody, Mr. Moriarty here. We are going to work on the 1.7 notes today. They might be a little bit difficult, but we are going to work on them and go over the assignment on Monday and probably Tuesday. This is the first video that you've seen of mine. Typically, my videos are pretty long, so I'm going to do my best to keep it short. Okay, so let's get into it. Like terms and constants are the same as they have always been. Like terms are two or more terms with the same variable and the same exponent. Right? A constant is a term without a variable, and all constants are like terms. So these are just numbers. An example of a like term would be something like a 2x and a 4x. They have the same variables, so you can combine them, add them or subtract them. So our lesson today is on variables, solving equations when we have variables on both sides. The reason that this lesson tends to be difficult is because there's more than one way to do it. There's actually a lot of different ways to do this. I'm going to teach you one way to do this. So throughout this video, I'm going to teach you one consistent way to do this. Some of you will find that other ways might work better for you, but I'm going to just do this one way. All right. I want to address the steps. So what we have on the very left side, as it has always been, is our steps to solve the equations. These steps are consistent, so I'm going to refer back to them throughout this video. So the very first step that we need to look for is distribution, which is parentheses, okay, or brackets, okay, either of those. After we look for distribution, you're going to combine like terms on each side. Okay, so we've discussed what like terms are. You're going to either add or subtract them. Then we get to the new part of this, because we have variables, and you can even see in this problem over here, because we have variables on both sides of our equations, what you want to do is you want to make sure that your variables, move your variables to one side, meaning you want to get all of the variable terms on one side. It could be the left side or it could be the right side, but they all need to be on one side. When you do that, you're going to be looking at a two-step equation, which our rules for two-step equations have been very consistent, where we're going to move the constants to the other side, so they're going to be on the opposite side of the variables. And then I decided to fix this last one. In all of the previous notes, it says use inverse operations. If I was looking through those examples, almost every single example just uses division. So that's what I'm going to put here. And if it ends up being wrong at any point, then I'll address that. But we tend to just use division for our very last step if we need to. Okay, so let's walk through this first one. Again, our very first step, so the 6n minus 1 equals 4n minus 5. Our very first step is to look for distribution. There's no brackets, so there's no distribution on the first one. So we go to the next one. Combine like terms on each side. Well, on our left side, we have 6n minus 1. Those are not like terms because the 1 does not have a variable, so we will not combine that. And on the right side, we have 4n minus 5. Again, that 5 does not have a variable, so we will not combine that. So we'll skip that step. The third step is where we start to go. Okay, we need to move our variables to one side of the equation. So there's two ways that we can do this, and I'm going to write this in red to know that you don't have to write this, but I just want you to watch. The variables that we have are these two variables here. So we can either subtract 6n on both sides, or we can subtract 4n on both sides. It's up to you what you want to do. What I try to think about is which one is going to get me a positive variable term. Taking 6 away from 4 or taking 4 away from 6. In this case, it's going to be taking 4 away from 6. Okay, so when you do that, 6n minus 4n is 2n. That minus 1 comes straight down. And then this is a negative 5, so make sure that you know that that is a negative 5. All right, so now my variables are on one side. And at this point, it just is a two-step equation from here on out. That means my constants are on the right side. Okay, so I need to move all of my constants to that side. So on the left side, I have 2n. On the right side, I will have negative 4. And then that last step, like I said, it was inverse operations. Now it's going to be just divide. So divide by the coefficient. Divide by 2 here, divide by 2 here. N equals negative 2. Okay? So it's not that bad, at least yet. We haven't had all of the rules together, but yeah. So the first step that we did was we subtract the 4n on both sides to get our variables on one side. Then we add the 1 on both sides to get all my constants on the other side. And then we divide the 2 on both sides. And that was our steps. Okay. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I want you to pause the video and try that last one. So this is what we've got here. We've got 8y minus 3 equals 6y plus 17. The variable terms that we have are going to be the 8y and the 6y. So we're either going to subtract 6y on both sides or subtract 8y on both sides. Because I want to try to get a positive variable term, I'm going to subtract 6y on both sides. 8y minus 6y is 2y. Bring down the minus 3. 6y's cancel. 17 is the only thing on the right side. And at that point, we have our variable side and our constant side. I'm just going to mark them with a V and a C. The variables don't have to be on the left side always, by the way. I feel like I should say that. They could be on the right side. It's just these examples worked out that way. So we subtract the 6y on both sides. Then what we're going to do to get our constants on the other side is we're going to add 3. Add the 3 to get our constants on the other side. 2y equals 20. And then the last step is divide by 2. Which gets me y equals 10. Okay? So that's the second one. I want you guys to maybe pause this video. Can I pause this thing as I'm recording? Whatever. It'll just be weird. Go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to try the bottom one. Okay, hopefully you paused the video and tried the other one? If not, there's a real awkward silence. So I'm going to do this one quickly because you should have tried it on your own. So my first step is subtracting the 3x. If you did not subtract the 3x, it's okay. Just as long as you make sure that what you did is mathematically fine. And if you did something different, we can talk about it on Monday when I get back. So this is a negative 7 equals 8 minus 3 is 5x plus 23. Now what I have to do is subtract 23. I know that seems big, but remember, my variables are now on my right side and my constants are on my left side in this problem. That's going to give me a negative 30 equals 5x. Subtract the 23 on both sides. And then the last step is to divide the 5 on both sides to get a negative 6. There we go. Negative 6 equals x. Okay? And that's the front side. So that didn't have any combined like terms. The back side is going to have combined like terms. So let's go ahead and flip it over and get going on that. Okay? So this is going to be kind of everything. And I'm going to copy these, maybe. I'm going to copy these rules or these steps down here because we are actually, on this one, we are going to use these steps. We're going to use all of them. Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys have those steps there because essentially it's a checklist. You're checking to make sure that we can do these things. Sometimes we can't, so we go to the next step in that checklist. All right. So let's take a look at this first one. First one is negative 6x equals a negative x minus 9 plus 1. On this first step, and why I put this actually here was because I don't believe that you guys have seen something like this. All right. Anytime you see a minus sign next to a parentheses, it's almost like a variable where if you don't see, like for this x, if you don't see a coefficient, that coefficient is probably a 1. Actually, it will be a 1, 100%. So since we don't have anything to distribute here, I want you to put a negative 1 there. Okay? It kind of looks like 11, but this should be a negative 1. Both of those should be 1s. All right? So watch what happens when I do that. Again, look at your steps. I'm not going to go look at mine because I've got to memorize. But the first step is to look for distribution, which is parentheses. We have parentheses right here. All right? So I'm going to distribute. But before I do, I'm going to bring down what I'm not using on the left side. Okay? Now I'm going to distribute. We are going to distribute, which is multiply. Distribute the negative 1. Okay, let me write that in purple so you know what I'm talking about. All right? So it'll look like this. Negative 1 times 1x is going to be negative 1x. This minus 9 is really a negative 9. So negative 1 times negative 9 gets me a positive 9. And then I'm just going to bring down that plus 1 that's on the end. Okay? The second step, if you are looking at that list of steps that I had, the second step is going to be combine like terms on each side. So I'm going to combine the 9 and the 1. All right? These guys right here, these are my like terms. All right? So let me plus 9 plus 1. So we should get negative 6x on the left equals a negative 1x plus 10 from those combining of like terms. After that, we need to get our variables on one side. So in order to do that, because my constants have already been set with the 10, constant side is going to be the right, which means the variable side is going to be the left. So I need to subtract. No. I was wrong. You need to add 1x. You need to add the 1x because that's going to get the variables off of the constant side. This is where things get a little bit weird to look at. Okay, so you've got that. Negative 6 plus 1x is a negative 5x. 1x's are gone. We have a 10 on the right side. So the next step is get your constants to the other side, but I wasn't paying attention, so actually we don't need step 4 because we already have variables on one side, constants on the other side. So we're just going to do that last step, which is divide the negative 5, which is the coefficient, on both sides. Divide by negative 5, divide by negative 5, x equals negative 2. Okay, even that out a little bit. That's not what we wanted to do. That's not going to work. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so you get the idea. All right, let me do this one with you, and then I'll give you a second to do that third one, and then show the sub your assignment or the notes, and then they will get you your homework. Okay. So the first step that we have for this one, always look for parentheses, because that indicates distribution. On this one, we do not have any distribution, so we won't distribute. We'll go to the next one, which is combine like terms. So in this case, we are going to combine a couple things. We're going to combine a 3a plus a 4a. Let me use a different color just to indicate. 3a plus 4a to get 7a plus 1. So 3a and 4a. And then we're also going to combine on the right side. We're going to combine negative 32 and negative 15. So that will get me, I want a 1a there. That will get me, let me see, negative 32 and negative 15. When I take negative 32 minus 15, I could try to do it in my head, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a calculator to be safe. I get a negative 47. Okay, cool. After we combine those like terms, the next step is to get your variables on one side. So we're either going to have to move the 7a or the 1a. Because I want a positive coefficient, I'm going to subtract the 1a on both sides, which will get me 6a plus 1 equals negative 47. From there, I'm going to subtract the 1, which will give me 6a equals negative 48. The last step is going to be divide the 6 on both sides to get a equals negative 8. That would be our solution. Okay. All right, go ahead and pause this video real quick and then come back and I will finish that last problem and you can get your assignment. Okay, awkward pause aside. I'm going to do this one quickly because I think I'm probably at least at 20 minutes and you guys are probably getting bored if you weren't already. Okay, so here we go. First step, distribute. Before I do that, I'm actually going to do a couple other things here. You can add the opposite if you want. This is really a -1. Okay, distribute. So 2 times 13 is going to be 26. 2 times -1b is a -2b. So I distribute the 2. Yeah, we can go ahead and just bring this down. Second step is going to be the combine like terms. In this case, the like terms are on the right side. So we're going to combine the 10 with the +4, which gets me 14. Then I'm going to, you do plus -8, or you could do a -8b. It's the same thing, okay? So I combined my 10 and 4. After that, you need to get your variables on one side. So you can either add 2b to both sides or add 8b. Because I want a positive, I'm going to add 8b on both sides. So I'm going to add the 8b, looks like 86, 8b, there we go. 26 comes down. -2b plus 8b is 6b. The only thing I have on the right side is that 14. Excuse me. So now I'm going to get my constants on the other side by subtracting 26. That gets me 6b equals, oh, my brain hurts, 14 minus 26, -12. Oh, lovely. This is going to come out just lovely. And then you're going to divide, finally, everything by 6 to get b equals -2. Okay? That is it for this video. Make sure to show the substitute your finished filled out notes, and then you can work on the assignment. Please try the assignment. I know that this is complicated. I know you do better with me in class versus a video. I apologize, but we are going to go over the assignment Monday. Even if you get every one of them wrong, just have every one of them there. Okay? Other than that, have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you Monday.